This is a dilemma that is not new to a middle country like Australia. We've seen instances in the past where there's been a choice between our biggest trading partner or our biggest security ally, and has ended quite poorly. How does Canberra position at this point, particularly with the state of chaos coming from Washington and a real, effort from Beijing to reshape its leadership as kind of the new champion of liberalisation and global trade?
Look, I think, I think the US and China are going to be headbutting for a long time to come, frankly. And both of them, neither of them, can we have any influence. We're just, we're a middle power, if that. We're tiny compared to those two countries. And, I've been to the US every year since 81 to Washington, 1981. And I've been to China 55 times since 84. So I've got some feel for both countries. And I just know that when push comes to shove, we basically have no influence. So I think the best thing for us is not to, join forces on this trade debacle, not to team up with China, not to defend the US, because we will have no influence. We should look after our own concerns. We should, as has been said from Australia, from the government, I agree with it. We get on with developing our trade with the rest of the world and seek to maintain our trade with China. And continue to bolster our defence alliance with the United States, and that's just at our own choice to increase our defence capability. And I do feel that the best way of having peace is deterrent, and so I think with China it's inevitable. Big country, big military. They've got to defend their people. The main thing is that they be defensive, not aggressive. And for us, I still think you never know what will happen in the future. We should continue to build alliances with the United States, with Japan, with India, with the UK, and that becomes a deterrent. But I think our focus should move in political terms to Southeast Asia, become very strongly a part of our own backyard, our own region, and help them, because they're all opening up. They are really thriving, except for these damn tariffs that have been imposed on them.
You've said when it comes to dealing with President Trump, we shouldn't negotiate, we should just ignore him. No phone calls, no concessions, no response to these tariffs are needed. So just wait it out. In the meantime, do you think it's in Australia's best interest to be able to have these open lines of communication with not just Beijing, but as you say, some of our other regional neighbours?
Look, I think with the tariffs and Trump, look, the bottom line is we've been an ally for 70 years, a strong, back longer, but a really strong ally for 70 years. We've been in every war with the United States. We've aided the United States objectives in those wars. We've got a surplus. We import twice what the United States. We import $60 billion of imports, and the United States imports $30 billion from us. So we've got a surplus. We now invest in terms of investment in the US more than the US invests in Australia, and we've got a 20-year free trade agreement which legally commits both parties to zero tariffs on 99.9% of products each way. There is no justification for 10% on us. We shouldn't give any credence to it, in my view. He's just waiting for a cringing phone call from all these countries. Look at the foul language he used about the 50 countries that have rung him. It's just so derogatory.
Right, but
we should not give any sort of plausibility to that. We just ignore him.
But
Nothing
Minister,
will hurt him more than us not even ringing up. We keep all of our other connections going in the United States. But
Minister, I do understand the
comfort
sentiment
of
that you're
ringing.
portraying right now, but at the same time, I do wonder, everything that you're laying out right now, the trade relationship itself between Washington and Canberra, the whole point coming from the Trump administration is that they want to change the basis of trade, right? And although you're saying that it can be waited out, do you perhaps fear that this might be broader and bigger than a Trump administration, that there is a bigger trend in Washington, in America, for wanting to change the global economic order?
I am worried. But I think the motivation is more to contain China than to change the global. I mean, Trump may well want to change it, and who knows what he wants to change it to, because what they're advocating is no solution. It's a vehicle for complaining, which, why should they? They've got the highest living standard by a long shot in the world. So I think the system has worked well for them, but they led the system, and they should take great pleasure in the fact that the last 70 years, literally billions of people have come out of poverty through the leadership of the United States to open up the world. And now we've got the reverse happening, regressing back into subsidies and tariffs and non-tariff barriers. Fortunately, we've got the ASEAN countries going in the opposite direction for the first major time. You go to Vietnam today, if it wasn't for this ridiculous tariffs just been imposed on them, but they're jumping out of their skin. It's like China 15 years ago. India's opening up. The ASEAN's opening up. In our own backyard, we've got opportunities. If you put the ASEAN countries together after China, they're our biggest trading bloc.
So are you advocating towards veering a lot of Australia's trade towards other nations? Because my point stands that if we continue to see this change in the wave of populism that we're seeing in America, anti-establishment sentiment, especially a fundamental Republican Party that has been changed by President Trump, even if we extend past this administration, won't we continue to see these, what you perceive as very unfair targets when it comes to trade? Would you prefer Australia to position with other countries better?
Well, look, the trade is, I think we should continue to trade where we can, including, of course, with the US. But bear in mind, our trade with China is 250 billion our way, and with the US, 30 billion their way. And so, we've got lots of big trading partners now. I think what we should be is giving a priority increasingly to those countries that are looking to free up and remove protection and make, comparative advantage, again, the centre stone of our relationships. This is what's so disturbing. A lot of the things that Trump is advocating for his country, they haven't got a comparative advantage in those things. But people don't want to do a lot of the things that he's advocating they return to in the manufacturing sector. So, I don't know where he's going with this thing. I think he's got a 40-year view of the strengths of the United States. They are now, a massive services country and IT country, and they should be forging ahead and facilitating that. And the only way to do that properly is to keep opening up the world to their services and for them to respect other countries and respect the comparative advantage of other countries in doing what they do. Cambodia, I think your previous speaker, Cambodia will be dead.
Yeah.
Cambodia, they're trying their best. They're opening up for the first time in my lifetime. And now the US, their major market is the US. They're very good at textiles. They're really getting themselves, as a growing community. They're increasing people's lifestyle.
Right.
They're doing what they should do for their people. And the United States are now just going to snuff that out with one, miscalculated, ridiculous tariff that they've imposed on a poor country.
Andrew, really great to have you with us today. Andrew Robb is a former Trade, Investment and Tourism Minister for Australia. We do have more on Australia ahead every Tuesday. If you're watching in Sydney, it's 10:40 a.m, 8:40 in Hong Kong.